Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to Sansad TV. I'm Teena Jha, you're watching Perspective. India's homegrown digital payment platform, the United Payments Interface or the UPI, has transformed the way we transact. What began as a domestic fintech revolution has now become a passport for seamless payments across the borders. The latest country to join this growing network is Qatar, where UPI is now accepted at merchant terminals through a tie-up between NPCI International Payments Limited and the Qatar National Bank. For Indian travellers, which form the second largest group of visitors to Qatar, this means familiar, hassle-free transactions and fewer worries about carrying cash. So, with 8 countries already on board, UPI's global footprint is expanding rapidly. Today on the program, we'll explore why this matters, what it means for Indian expatriates as well as the travellers, and how India's digital innovation is shaping global payments. Joining us to discuss this further are 3 distinguished guests. I'm delighted to welcome on the program today Dr. Gulshan Rai, former National Cyber Security Coordinator, Government of India. Dr. Rai, welcome to the program. Also joining us is Dr. T. Senthil Siva Subramanian, Head Institute in Industry Interface Program, Hindustan College of Science and Technology, Mathura. Sir, thank you for your time. Welcome to the program. And we also have Mr. B. Mishra, Senior Advisor, India Banker Association. Mr. Mishra, thank you for joining us on the program. Welcome to Sansad TV.
Thank you.
Dr. Rai, let's begin the conversation with you. So, UPI, we all know, began as a domestic success story. It's now emerging as a global phenomenon. From your perspective, sir, what makes UPI's journey so significant, and why is its international adoption a key milestone for India's digital economy?
No, first of all, let me say that the UPI was involved. I was on the scene there. Not for exclusively for the domestic or not meant for domestic. It was evolved as a digital payment system, which was to be applicable across the world, across the country, anywhere. Only thing is that it started operating first testing in India, because you have to have a good product, particularly when you talk about the fintech. You have to start. And in fact, I must say that the fintech industry really took a turn and took the birth with the introduction of UPI. It was a unique system that point of a time where multiple banks across the country can interface with each other to give a seamless experience for a money transfer from a person A to person B or to person C also there. That was unique kind of a system, a concept was involved that point of time by NPCI. Over a period of time, it has been implemented, and we know how many transactions are there. In the billion number of transactions are happening over there. I'm fully aware of the NPCI infrastructure because I did some audit also there.
Yes.
They have done a wonderful kind of a robust kind of a infrastructure, and I can say on this platform, they are at par with any other international card or such kind of a fintech companies. And that gave rise to so many startups who are now in the fintech area. This brings a seamless kind of a experiment which started with a few thousand rupees. Today, you can transfer 1 lakh rupees, everybody can transfer, and the limit has gone further also for certain type of a transaction. Now, advantage is that you don't have to carry money in the pocket. Okay. You can across in a matter of few seconds. Yesterday I was in Bombay. I went to attend a kind of a ceremony at National Stock Exchange for opening of the IPO, or important IPO. And I was looking for a taxi at the airport, and he said this much money. I just took out the phone and gave the money. In matter of 2 minutes, everything was over there. That becomes success. Now, if you recall, when we used to go abroad, a good old days time, and today that is applicable. We'll buy the MasterCard with the foreign exchange. We'll buy the traveler's check there. We all knew we used to go to, as a government employee, we used to go to Central Bank at Ashoka Hotel and buy the currency and all kind of a scenario. Right. And still the practice continues there. But today the advantage of this UPI transaction is there. We don't have to carry. Foreign exchange is automatically taken care of by the AI application engine of the UPI. They can deduct the money, they can cross it to you, and across the table you can go very lightly. No question of any kind of a you're picking the pocket or stowing away. Transactions can be done seamlessly across those countries which are done, and I have been championing that. We first went in tranche, then went to Singapore. I have been promoting in a bilateral kind of a discussion to this kind of a system. This is the first system which is a open standard system. If you look at the all famous companies in the world there, practically they follow a closed network. The money you can transfer from if you have a company A, which is a credit card company or other company, they can do among themselves, but not open. Then one bank to another, another bank to another. That system, that's the first system which has come in the country. And I must say, apart from China, such a system is yet to come in a rugged or robust manner. It has made the life of the travelers very simple. By extending the recognition by the different countries, is going to really helpful not to the Indian repatriates, but so many foreigners who are coming to India.
Clearly, Mr. Mishra, UPI has become an inherent part of our lives today. In fact, the current generation, for the current generation, it will be difficult to believe that without UPI, how life would have been for us who've seen that kind of transition. As Dr. Rai rightly put it, it's made our lives so effortless, so seamless. We don't need to worry about carrying that kind of cash. But how do you think UPI's expansion can change the way, or is already changing the way the world is looking at India's digital capabilities? Now there are 8 countries who've adopted it. We are in talks with more and more countries to actually adopt the UPI. How important is it for the world also to acknowledge India's digital capabilities?
See, basically, it's as Dr. Rai just now told, it saves a lot of time. And is hassle-free. We have come to a stage, even though we have 160,000 plus bank branches and all, the transfer used to be a big problem. The payment used to be a big problem. The chutta, when you go to buy sabji, when you go to buy your grocery, it is so seamless now. And not everybody is familiar with internet banking. So then comes the UPI, which enables 2 bank accounts to be linked through a mobile device, and the transfer happens within seconds, and it is real time. We have come to a stage where now we are having at least nearly 1 billion transactions by number and nearly 1 trillion by value, which was the target for 2025. We are very, very close to that. It is phenomenal, and we have one of the best platforms in the world, as Dr. Rai just pointed out. Although we started only with few hundred crores transactions in 2016. And so, and our UPI global reach, because charity has begun well domestically. And, now 96% of course, there are a couple of issues, but then even then, you see, given the kind of volume and the seamlessness, by any standard, it is one of the best platforms that we have globally. Now, having done this domestically, now it is time to reach out to the global community. And you see, 10 lakh students go every year for educations, and you have so many lakhs of travelers. Now people have become very mobile. So how it was kind of hassles was there, carrying what you call the traveler checks and all. And if you are carrying a MasterCard or Visa card, the charges are very high. So now it is, through UPI, now if somebody is earning in Qatar and the family is here, he can also repatriate some money through UPI. Of course, there is certain limits.
Absolutely,
there.
You're right. So beyond ease of payments, there are several other benefits as well for the Indian travelers and the Indians living abroad. But before we go across to Mr. Subramanian for his perspective, one question, related question about banking. What does UPI's global rollout mean for the Indian banks, especially in terms of cross-border settlement, the partnerships and the compliance? If you could explain that to us and our viewers.
Yeah, we see the global payment system. We just started through UPI in 2021 with Bhutan. So now we are 4 years old, and not the bigger players are yet to be boarded, brought on board. So it is going to be now we are heavily dependent on SWIFT kind of payment for international transfers. But that is a huge amount of transfer happens. So now, having started this thing, this is a modest beginning we had made, I will say. The commercial transactions will have to happen through UPI in a global commercial transactions. So that I think is possible. It is very much on the card, and more number of countries should be brought on board. And you see, our trade partners, when it happens with our trade partners, then it becomes all the more useful for all of us.
We will discuss about the scope and challenges in due course of the program. Coming now to you, Dr. Subramanian, UPI clearly is an example of world-class digital innovation coming from India. In fact, it's a gift from India to the world. But how can we also replicate similar success stories, given that we have a broader Viksit Bharat vision? We want to become a large digital economy. But how do you see in the years to come the industry and the academia collaborating to replicate such success stories? Today we are talking about the remarkable success of UPI. Tomorrow it should be something else, and this should continue.
Yeah. First, I would like to mention that the year 2025 being celebrated as International Year of Cooperatives. And cooperatives is to build a cooperative ecosystem among the global leaders also. So I would like to mention about the IMF quote, which is published very recently on the growing retail digital payments, the value of interoperability. So, which Dr. Roy and Mishra sir was mentioning about the real-time payments as well as on the open network systems. And this is the most important aspect, and also the unique selling point of the UPI is the interoperability actually. The second thing is that as per the finance and development organizations, the UPI being the India's frictionless payment actually, frictionless payment. And it eases the ease of living, ease of business, ease of use as well. As far as the industry academia interface is concerned, as Dr. Roy was mentioning, that there are a lot of opportunities for the student startups and ecosystems to build an artificial intelligence or blockchain based technology on the UPI systems as well, to interlink the transparency and the safety and the security in the aspect systems also. So there are a lot of scopes for the incubation centers to work on the digital, enhancing the digital features of the digital ecosystems also. And we have India's is the third largest in the startup ecosystems. We have a very wide range of incubation centers across the nations. For example, Atal incubation centers, MSME incubation centers, and the state government successful incubation centers are available in India. So I think that this is the right time that the academia and the industry and the government of interface will interface, and also will establish a lot of innovations. And UPI being the successful first digital public infrastructure, which is the success story of India's digital public infrastructure ecosystems as well also. And I would like to mention that there are around 20 billion transactions has happened in a month, and 640 million transactions has happened from 2.80 billion to 20 billion in 2025 also. And the success story is the success story of interoperability as well also.
Absolutely. So taking on from what you said, we will of course talk about, as India's digital payments go global, what are the new areas of skill and research that Indian professionals and Indian students should be focusing on in the years to come. But Dr. Roy, I would like to understand from you about how robust, given the concerns that Dr. Subramanian also highlighted, and there are cybersecurity challenges that each one of us want to know about. how robust are India's data protection and encryption frameworks to ensure that the privacy of millions of cross-border transactions that are taking place are secure? Because each time we talk of integrating our payment system with the global network, concerns of privacy and security are to be addressed in a much more detailed manner, and so that each of the concerns that arise are adequately addressed.
See, apart from benefit to the consumer, Indian consumer or maybe the international consumer, the great thing which the country has achieved is that we have set up a unique fintech standards in the world. That's the country has gained about by setting up the UPI structure. It's a very, not so complicated, not so simple also, but we have set up a unique fintech standard.
Right.
Now, let me answer your point. Having said so, setting up the standards of leading a particular kind of a technological innovation raises many challenges for the country or for the company or those group to sustain that development. First is innovation, and rightly you said security also. Now today, unfortunately, the privacy and security framework that has gone into a little more geopolitical issues there. Now, India has announced passed the Data Protection and Privacy Act there. It's likely to be implemented very soon. But the act and similar privacy acts also in security standards have been notified by other countries. Now, the real challenge is that we need to recognize each other's standard and each other framework there for the seamless transactions, the kind of arrangements we have been done for seamless implementation. Those are necessary to be done because that helps the legal environment, that helps the regulatory environment, and that helps the banks with whom we have entered the MOU understanding there to implement it faster in their own respective countries there. Data sharing part also. You look at the famous card companies there which are there, which Mr. Mishra took the name there. See, they have their own system and standards there. The companies are here, the companies are different companies, they're truly a board kind of company. They do the transaction themselves. So similarly, we need to expand our structures. We need to enter into, recognize, and what Mr. Siva Subramanian also said, interoperability. He also used the word interoperability. So I think we need to create those framework and regulation meeting the international requirement and arrangement with those countries, which will help us to expand the usage and the spread of the Indian standard, and we will also become like one of the famous card company in the world, which will also become a brand. So arranging the frameworks, interoperating framework, having and making arrangement with the different countries world over, that is the next step which a country is trying to do, and it must be done as early as possible. It will help us to create a more robust kind of infrastructure and then enhance the resiliency of our infrastructure and resiliency of the transaction which get committed there. The country has proposed a DPI, digital public infrastructure. We are moving quite ahead in that. I think that kind of initiative will help us to create more robust framework.
So with more countries joining the UPI bandwagon, whether it's paving the way for an India stack of financial services globally is something that we will see, and that only time will tell. Consistent efforts, of course, are on from the government side. But Mr. Mishra, from a consumer perspective, when we talk of security and transparency, when the UPI is being used abroad, how do you ensure transparency in exchange rates, fees, dispute resolution, etc.?
See, basically what NPCI has done in 9 years' time, and NPCIL, the global arm of NPCI, in 4 years' time, is by any standard is a phenomenon. But then now, as I told earlier also, now we have started this, exchange process with only 8 countries, and they are not all of them are big trade partners. Maybe the next target will be with extending it to our bigger trade partners. And like SWIFT has the foolproof kind of security aspect that is taken care of. So we need to invest heavily on the security aspect so that you have the confidence from both sides for remittance from home to abroad, and also getting the payments from abroad to home for our exporters, between the exporters and importers, which is going to be the second stage. But I am very optimistic. Having done in a country which is 65% people are in the rural area, and the phenomenal kind of transition that is happening, chai wala, sabji wala, and all these things, and where we have succeeded against heavy odds. We do not have the financial literacy to the extent we should have had. But then, even then, it has been very success story. I think we'll be also successful in the global platform very soon.
Absolutely. Yes. So let's hear from Dr. Subramanian on what our priorities should be in the wake of the remarkable success domestically, in the wake of the global acceptance which is happening gradually. More and more countries are adopting UPI. We are hopeful that it will become a global success story very soon, with consistent efforts being made at different levels. But what do you think should be India's top priorities, say, in the next 5 years, at least in terms of security, in terms of the partnerships, and in terms of the innovation that will be required to make the system more robust, accountable, transparent?
I think that UPI's success is the frugal innovations. I can say that this is the Jugaad innovation, basically, number one. And number two, I would like to quote our Union Honorable Minister, Cabinet Minister Ashwini Vaishnava-ji. He mentioned that India's technology is the equalizer, basically. And he mentioned that digital innovation initiatives democratizing the technology for all. I think that each and every citizen of India is using the UPI, and UPI serves each and every humanitarian, basically humanity. And I think that the fastest growth of 5G technology is, I think, the best showcase for the digital payment, UPI payment as well. I think that there are a lot of innovations are going to happen in India. In fact, our launch of different missions, especially the India's semiconductor mission, India's quantum mission, India's digital mission. In fact, skilling is going to be the biggest opportunity for each and every student to excel in learning the digital technologies as well. I think that India is going to become the skill capital in the digital initiative as well.
Okay, I'll take one last comment from Dr. Rai on how we are preparing in dealing with the emerging threats and the futuristic technologies. So, of course, the concerns related to them, but also in terms of how do you envision UPI's growth, UPI's global success story, say, in the next 5 to 10 years, sir?
No, I will tell you that in last 10 years, the India's position in terms of the UN assessment, I mean, this is not the UN index, India has come among the first 10, and where we were in 2016, 17, now we are within the first 10, about 7, 8 things there. So the security posture has enhanced there. Security posture of the UPI-based transactions also have enhanced there. But now security is such a subject, nobody can take a rest, get relief that now I have done this 1, 2, 3 steps, or I have done that, now I am secure. No. I mean, there is nothing 100% security. Technologies, innovations are happening. More heterogeneity is happening there. AI and such kind of technologies are getting over there. Users are using it. It's offering a more attack service to any hackers there. So I think the challenge to any system, not only India, world over, remains the same there. And we have to be always on our legs to make it secure. NPCI is focusing their efforts. They have a good, robust security system in place. And I think as the time goes on, as the new technologies, you see, I must tell you that UPI, when I introduced in 2015 there, the technology has gone several times in now 2025 there, several time improvement. With the new emerging technology which gets applicable, the challenges come, and I'm sure we will keep on crossing the point when it comes there. But only thing is that one should be aware of it, one should be vigilant about it, and one must have the mindset. In fact, the getting to the international arena, that is better for the country, for the NPCI, because they will be very mindful of such issues there. If some security lapses comes up, the things also come down very fast. That, in my view, is a very good kind of a step that the international collaboration, international acceptance, this puts they also make them a little more vigilant about the security, and they will improve the system as goes with the time there.
Clearly. So as long as we recognize yes, very quickly, sir. Very little time is left.
I would like to add that I think that India has achieved the position of Global Innovation Index as a position of 38, and frugal innovations are happening across each and every innovation clusters across India. I think that UPI is one of the biggest achievement in the fintech domain, which Mr. Rai and Mr. Dr.
Undoubtedly, in the last few years, UPI has clearly revolutionized the payment system in India, and now it's shaping the transactions globally as well. So it's a classic example of innovation in India at its best, and we hope there are similar success stories as well in future, about which we will be talking about. Time allows me to take up only that much on the program, gentlemen. We'll have to wrap up the conversation. Thank you once again for joining in and sharing your thoughts with us and our viewers. To you viewers, thank you very much for your time as well.
To watch more programs of Sansad TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share them.